What got me really thinking about kind of deviating from the typical Thought Thursday formula and going over and talking more about the ass I Nation attempt on Mr. Trump was this particular video that got brought to my attention by a fan of the show. And, of course, you take videos with a grain of salt until you look into them. Well, I decided to look into it. Every single thing he says here is true. The sources are all on redonkulous.com. I'll even bring them up and show you some highlights after the video.
There's any background music in this, huh?
I don't believe so.
All right.
Guatemalan Attorney General and their General Secretary just filed a lawsuit in Texas claiming that Joe Biden, they are funneling over $21 million to an organization called Save the Children. And guess who was on the board? The board of it, Jill Biden. And they're saying this NGO is child sex trafficking into the United States of America.
Wow.
Inside of Guatemala, and they are traveling and facilitating the transportation of child sex trafficking into Texas. Look, the media won't even touch it. And Joe Biden, look, things don't happen in a bubble. What did Joe Biden do in Ukraine? He went after that AG and got him fired. Guess what he's doing? He just called down there and had a presser and said to the Guatemalan president, I want those two people fired for corruption. There was no corruption last week until they filed a lawsuit against you and your wife.
Yeah, exactly. Until you start looking into the child sex trafficking, then it may involve Jill Biden.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Biden loves to do. He loves to call up Poroshenko, get that prosecutor fired. He's looking into my son. He's looking into Hunter Biden. Get that guy fired, or you're not going to get billions of dollars. Guatemala, we're going to withhold aid to you. We're going to hold back the billions of dollars that we'll send to you. You better get these guys fired. You better not be looking into my wife.
Wow.
It's frightening, Clayton.
Listen, if anyone out there can get a copy of this lawsuit, I would love to see it in PDF in my email.
Now, the really funny part about the lawsuit is that, you might think it's not related. Okay, because the lawsuit itself was filed in April, from what I understand. But as promised, I did look into all the claims. Joe Biden named board chair of aid group Save the Children. This was as of 2017. So there you go. Boom. Guatemalan prosecutors raid offices of Save the Children charity. This was April 26th. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Biden admin whistleblowers claim billions of taxpayer dollars used by government contractor to traffic children on the border. Published July 9th, 2024.
That was
What happened just a few days later?
Interesting.
somebody tried to give someone a JFK haircut.
Between a horrible month. It's Jover for Joe.
Jover.
It's Jover. The debate was just the start of it, because it wasn't just one bad night. As I think Razorfist pointed this out, that one bad night and every subsequent attempt to salvage it since then has shined a light on the past 3.5 years.
Yes.
Now you get this. In the middle of it, this guy's world could not be crumbling any faster if Godzilla was having a temper tantrum in his backyard.
And it's going to open the door to a lot of other shit.
I hope so. Because, listen, I don't know.
Quick, we got to do something.
I don't know what these people were thinking. You're not going to be able to stay in power fucking forever. You're not a king. You're not staying there until you're doing the horizontal, rot slot dance.
Rot slot.
I'm serious. You're only there for a certain amount of time.
But people there, they don't like those people. They don't like, especially that generation. Those are all like they're the boomers, number one. But people when they get to that level, I know they might just go kicking and screaming and trying to make it fucking miserable for everybody.
That's
too.
fine. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh.
But the thing is I'm gonna say, people get mad at me when I said this last time, but I'm gonna say it again because I mean it. I think there's a reason why Trump didn't get elected the second time. One, they messed with the election, but now we got to see under a magnifying glass the corruption that has been taking place at the highest levels, going back to, as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Carter.
At least. Because, the CIA whacked JFK.
Yes, they
So, in all likelihood, what we're probably looking at is going back even further than that.
The Fed Reserve.
League of Nations. Who was that? Wilson.
Yeah.
Right? He was the first one who tried to set us on this globalist track. Going on down the line. I mean, LBJ, no pun intended, because he was very proud of a particular appendage. Obviously, he had something to do with JFK. Mm-hmm. And that they tried to kill this guy, and they successfully killed that guy. All right. What do those two dudes have in common? Those two presidents are the only two who oversaw an economy that actually saw an increase in the average American's purchasing power.
And they wanted to audit the Fed.
Yes.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
And you can't, those are dangerous things to ask for in power.
And there's a particular, I don't know, I think we're allied with a particular nation that's headed up by a lot of these people. They tend to have a lot of influence over banks.
Yes.
And they really don't like it when... I think there was a centralized banking system that was in Germany in the 30s that was causing a lot of similar decadence and weird societal shit. I must be thinking of the wrong...
things?
I must be thinking of historical fiction.
Yeah,
right?
and the book burnings that now the Nazis did book burning, but in the beginning, the books that were being burned
were the child Ornpay.
Was the trans craziness stuff. Yep.
But they did try to run they did as the state try to raise the youth. They had the Hitler Youth.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so I mean, it's again not far removed.
Except now, instead of taking the Hitler Youth and turning them into, active
beasts,
members of that particular government in society, now we have the government raising people that don't have a foot in reality
and are neutered
and don't understand how reality works.
Yes. They're literally neutered. Well, if you want to talk about a great way to rid the planet of what they call useless eaters, talk them into a lifestyle that eliminates the possibility of legacy.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything from like the schmorshins to
the snooch hoovers, yeah.
Right, to the troons and to just contraceptives. It's like it's all a form to not have more people in the end.
Reminds me of that chick's joke from the last show. My mom used to beat me with a hanger until I was born. Then she switched to a belt.
It's so fucking
That's
terrible.
So dark. That is dark. That is darker than the whole lineup.
That was a good setup, though.
It was.
That's darker than the Kardashian dating lineup. Man.
Oh, my God. That is amazing.
I mean the conga line of cock?
The conga line of Kiaka.
Yes. Kiaka.
That's awful. That's horrendous.
But, I mean, just think how corrupt and how evil our society is.
Yeah.
That we are actually justifying and looking the other way for child mutilation and child sex traffic.
Yep. And even making a movie about a true story that sheds light on that gets you labeled a conspiracy theory. And it breaks my heart because, like, after Roger Ebert died, I basically stopped watching or listening to or reading film critics. Yeah. There was no point. There's a British dude, though, he's kind of a film historian, and he's a huge, like, William Friedkin guy. The Exorcist is his favorite movie. I'm sure you can respect that. His name is Mark Kermode. I listen to him all the time. Very entertaining gentleman. I don't always agree with him. But I swear, when he included Sound of Freedom on his list of the worst films of 2023, I saw somebody, I could just picture it in my head, somebody handing him a list of bullet points from the globalist leftards to just read off of. Everything that they talk about in here is a conspiracy. QAnon, it's conspiracy theory. Jim Caviezel just thinks he's Jesus because he played Jesus in a movie, blah, blah, blah. Literally, he read it all verbatim. And I just commented, Mark, tell me you didn't actually watch the movie without admitting you didn't actually watch the movie. My respect for you just fucking tanked.
Yeah, first of all of the film critics are bought and paid for now.
Oh, yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, I think they're owned by Fandango or something, and they're all just circle jerking.
Well, you mean they have an agenda and they're not going to give me an honest critique?
Here's the thing.
Most
people out there are not going to draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
All right, they're
too lazy.
Well, they're that, or they're like, hey, I got a good thing going. I don't want to screw it up. You know, and they just go along with it. And
so then, what's worse then? Like, what's like? Okay, so like when you have like take a crime scene for example, and there's like 4 witnesses to a crime scene, but nobody saw anything. Like, what's actually worse?
Yeah.
Is it an Irish neighborhood?
I don't know. Who's identifying how? Is it St. Patrick's Day?
It just reminds me of Boondogg's saying, this is an Irish neighborhood. I'm surprised you even got a phone call.
Because we all know like there's codes. Like, and, you know, people have codes, family have codes, and you keep things on hush-hush. But like there's basic overall social rules or should be social rules and norms. And it's like...
And we used to all be able to agree that one of those social norms that you never, ever crossed was fucking with children.
That's right.
Kids, we also had public shame.
Correct.
Yeah, like people fucking stood up when like some bad shit was happening. People would call it out. Hell, like there was like I said, that Battle of Athens. They hold people accountable.
Yeah.
That was a good time. We should do that again.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. I myself am too old for such fun and games.
My back hurts. My shoulder hurts.
My back hurts.
I don't even want to.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.